Hi everyone, good morning. Today we are going to discuss the subject management accounting, and I have chosen the topic ratio analysis. This topic is part of the third year BCom 6th semester syllabus, Bangalore University. I, Nadia R., Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Government First Grade College, Bangaru Tirupati, Kolar District. In this presentation, I'll be driving you through the theory part of the chapter ratio analysis. Introduction. Management accounting is a subject in which we analyze and interpret the financial statements of a company. In order to analyze and interpret the financial statements, there are several tools and techniques being applied, like comparative statement, common size statements, trend analysis, fund flow statement, cash flow statement, and so on. Ratio analysis is also one of the tools and techniques which is being widely used by the companies. A ratio analysis is a very powerful and most commonly used tool of analysis for analyzing and interpreting the financial statements. It mainly concentrates on the interrelationship between the figures or the items which appears in the financial statements. The ratio analysis not only helps a company in analyzing the past performance, but also it helps to make future predictions. Now, let us understand what do you mean by ratio analysis, and financial ratio. A ratio is a number expressed in terms of another number. In other words, it is the mathematical relationship between one number and another. For example, the relationship between expenses and income of a person. Suppose if the expenses of a person is rupees 50,000 and his income is rupees 75,000, then the ratio is 2:3. Here 2 represents the expenses part and 3 represents the income part. Thus 2:3 is the ratio between expenses and income. Ratio analysis. Ratio analysis is the analysis of financial statements with the help of ratios and drawing meaningful interpretation from such analysis. It means that in ratio analysis, we don't just calculate the ratios alone, but we also draw interpretation from such calculated ratios. Next, financial ratio. A financial ratio shows the mathematical relationship between two figures or values which have meaningful relationship with each other. For example, gross profit and sales net profit and sales, current assets and current liabilities. Moving on with the next topic, classification of ratios. The ratios are broadly categorized according to the nature of accounting statements from which the ratios are derived. So according to this classification, the first type of ratio is balance sheet ratio. This ratio expresses the relationship between two items appearing in the balance sheet. For example, current ratio, debt equity ratio. In current ratio, the two items are current assets and current liabilities. So the current asset and current liabilities, both these items are taken from the balance sheet itself. Hence, it is called as an balance sheet ratios. The second type of ratios is profit and loss account ratios. In this type of ratios, the relationship between two items appearing in the profit and loss account itself are considered. For example, gross profit ratio, operating ratios, etc. Here, both the items, that is gross profit and sales, these two items appear in the profit and loss account and it is taken and the ratio is calculated. So such kind of ratios is called as an profit and loss account ratio. And the third type of ratio is combined ratio, or it is also called as composite ratio. In this type of ratios, the relationship between items are considered in which one item is taken from the balance sheet and the another item is taken from the profit and loss account. For example, debtors turnover ratio, capital ratio. In case of debtors turnover ratio, it expresses the relationship between debtors and turnover. Debtor is an item which appears on the asset side of the balance sheet and turnover is nothing but sales appears on the profit and loss account. Hence, these two items, one from the balance sheet and another item from the profit and loss account, are taken and ratio is being calculated. Such kind of ratio is called combined ratio or composite ratio. Moving on, the next classification is according to the point of view of financial management or objectives. Based on these classification, the ratios are classified as liquidity ratio, capital structure ratio, turnover ratios, and profitability ratios. These ratios will be discussed in detail in the coming slides. Now, let's discuss the ratios in detail. Firstly, liquidity ratios. It is also called as short-term solvency ratio. What do you mean by liquidity? A liquidity means the ability of a firm to meet its current liabilities. A liquidity ratio establishes the relationship between current assets and current liabilities. Normally, if you take any company, it will use its current assets to meet its current liabilities. Thus, the liquidity ratios will indicate whether a company is having sufficient current asset to meet its current liabilities. Thus, the liquidity ratio indicates the short-term financial position of a company. That is the reason this liquidity ratio is also called as an short-term solvency ratios. Now, types of liquidity ratio. The first type of liquidity ratio what we have is the called as an current ratio, or it is also called as a working capital ratio. So, the current ratio is calculated as current ratio is equivalent to current assets divided by current liabilities. Please recollect what do you mean by current assets and current liabilities. Hope everyone knows the basic concept of current asset and current liabilities. So, to find out your current ratio, you have to take all the current assets and all the current liabilities. Then you can find out the current ratio. And I would also request you to remember or recollect your working capital is equivalent to current assets minus current liabilities. So this formula of working capital may be required to solve your problems related to current ratio. Hence, recollect it. The next liquidity ratio is quick ratio. Quick ratio is also called as acid test ratio or liquid ratio. It is calculated using this formula. Quick ratio is equivalent to quick asset or liquid asset divided by quick liabilities. A quick asset or liquid asset, it includes all current asset except stock and prepaid expenses. It means out of the total current asset, we have to minus the value of stock and prepaid expenses. Quick liabilities. So quick liabilities includes all current liabilities except bank overdraft. That means out of the total current liabilities, we have to minus bank overdraft. These are the two liquidity ratios what we have, current ratio and quick ratio. The current ratio shows the firm's short-term financial conditions, and the liquid ratio shows the ability of a business to meet its immediate financial commitments. So both these ratios, current ratio and liquid ratio, talks about the short-term financial conditions of a business. The next type of ratio is capital structure ratios. Capital structure ratio is also called as long-term solvency ratio, leverage ratios, gearing ratios. They are used to analyze the long-term solvency of any business concern. It means that these ratios indicates the long-term financial condition of a concern. There are two aspects of long-term solvency. The first one is the ability to repay the principal amount when it becomes due, and the regular repayment of interest. These are the both aspects which a company should take into consideration when it talks about the long-term financial conditions. Types of capital structure ratios. There are basically 4 types of capital structure ratios: debt equity ratio, proprietary ratio, interest coverage ratio, capital gearing ratio. All these 4 ratios indicates the long-term financial position of a company. The first capital structure ratio is debt equity ratio. This ratio measures the relationship between long-term debts and shareholders' fund. The debt equity ratio can be calculated using 2 formulas. The first one is debt equity ratio is equal to long-term debts divided by shareholders' funds. So in this formula, we are going to consider only the long-term debts, and the current liabilities, which is short-term debts, has to be ignored. And in the second formula, the debt equity ratio is calculated considering the total debts. So here the total debt means it includes both short-term debts and long-term debts divided by shareholders' fund. Your total debt is also called as an external equities, and shareholders' fund is called as an internal equities. Thus, debt equity ratio is equivalent to external equities divided by internal equities. So these 2 formulas can be used to calculate debt equity ratio. To find out shareholders fund, a shareholders fund includes all these items, that is share capital, both equity share capital and preference share capital, all accumulated profits or retained earnings, plus any other reserves. With this, you have to minus the accumulated losses, if any, and deferred expenditure like preliminary expenses, discount on issue of shares, etc. should be subtracted. Then long-term debts. So long-term debts includes all your long-term liabilities like debentures, long-term loans, public deposits, and any other long-term liabilities. And the short-term debt, it includes all current liabilities. So the next capital structure ratio is proprietary ratio. This ratio measures the relationship between shareholders' funds and total assets. This ratio indicates how much an owner can claim in the assets of the company. So the proprietary ratio is calculated using this formula. Proprietary ratio is equivalent to shareholders' fund divided by total assets. Shareholders' fund, already in the previous slide we have discussed what it includes. And total assets, so it is nothing but it is the total of all assets, that is fixed assets plus current asset. The next type of capital gearing ratio is interest coverage ratio. This ratio indicates whether the business earns sufficient profit to periodically pay the interest charges. That is, this ratio indicates whether the company has earned enough profits to make payment for its interest. So this ratio can be calculated using the formula interest coverage ratio is equivalent to earnings before interest and tax, that is EBIT, divided by fixed interest charges. Here the fixed interest charges is nothing but the interest on debentures and any other long-term loans is called as a fixed interest charges. The last capital structure ratio is capital gearing ratio. This ratio expresses the relationship between the fixed interest bearing securities and equity share capital. It is calculated using the formula capital gearing ratio is equivalent to fixed income securities divided by equity shareholders fund. Fixed income securities means debentures and preference share capital. These two securities are called as fixed income securities because they earn a regular income. Interest in the form interest for debentures and dividend for preference shares. Equity shareholders fund. It includes all those items that belongs to equity shareholders such as equity share capital, any accumulated profits or losses, and all the reserves, etc. Thus, these are the 4 types of capital structure ratio that we have discussed, and all these ratios indicates the long-term financial conditions of a company. With this, I am concluding the first theoretical part of ratio analysis, and the remaining theoretical part will be covered in my next presentation. You can post your comments and also subscribe my YouTube channel to view all my presentations. For any queries, you can also email me at nadia777@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.